What is up, guys? Jarv here, back with the original This Week in Destiny. This week marks week 7 of Season of the Deep. This week we have the final exotic fish available, therefore pathing our way to get our hands on the wicked implement exotic scout rifle. On top of that, we have the Grandmaster node available this week for all you conquerors out there. And as always, we have a full breakdown of the rest of the weekly rituals, so be sure to stick around and enjoy the video. If you do enjoy the video, be sure to leave a comment and rating down below. And remember to subscribe for more Destiny 2 content. We are fast approaching 200,000 subscribers, so make sure to hit that red button and ring that bell to ensure you don't miss an update. But without further delay, guys, let's jump into the video. So another week and another This Week in Destiny, with the conclusion last week of the main seasonal narrative via the Into the Depths quest. This week sees us shift along, get our hands on the final exotic fish. Now to do this, you'll first need to visit Hawthorne over in the tower for the third and final fishing rally. If for any reason she has no quest available, then you can visit the abandoned quest terminal once again in the tower by the postmaster, and you'll be able to pick up the fishing rally quest here, and you'll find it under the seasonal tab. Now the final exotic fish is called the Aeonian Alpha Beta and is exclusive to the European Dead Zone. So to make sure that you're prepared, make sure to stack up on some bait before this week's weekly reset. And once you've got your hands on this exclusive exotic fish, you can hand it in once again over in the helm to get the third and final blade. This will now allow us to activate all 3 statues within the deep dive activity, which should grant us access to the secret Whetstone encounter. Now, by activating all 3 statues, this will change the ending of the deep dive activity. We'll face an entirely different boss in a brand new zone, and by successfully completing that encounter, you should gain access to this exclusive stasis scout rifle. The wicked implement is probably the worst kept secret of Season of the Deep, but week 7 should mark the week that you can finally get your hands on it. Now from here, we're going to move on to the Root of Nightmares featured raid challenge, and this week's challenge is called the Cosmic Equilibrium. Now to complete this, you must move all the dark planets to the left side of the room and all the light planets to the right side of the room. Now once again, thanks to blueberries.gg, the strategy here is relatively simple. We need to have each player swapping planets, choose one of the 2 mismatched planets on their plate. They'll then need to swap it with one from the other side, except to complete this challenge, we'll need to do this twice. Now it isn't possible to move all planets at the same time, so we'll need to do 2 sets of 4, which is our next best option. Now if you and your team can pull this off, then one of the best weapons in this raid is available this week, with the Rufus's Fury returning. It's an immensely popular auto rifle, and as the challenge weapon, it will also have the adept version available. Completing the challenge grants access to this weapon, as well as an additional raid chest. Now from here, we're going to move on to the featured raid and dungeon content for week 7. This week sees the return of the Last Wish raid as the featured raid. This will result in all the challenges being available, which is absolutely perfect if you're looking to still earn some of the weapon patterns from this updated raid from Forsaken. Naturally, you'll still need to pay Hawthorne a visit, but as the featured raid, all the encounters are farmable, allowing you to get all these weapon patterns, and if you haven't got it, the 1000 Voices exotic fusion rifle. Now alongside the Last Wish, Duality returns also as the featured dungeon. Alongside the Grasp of Avarice, Duality is also one of the most popular dungeons when it comes to farming Artifice armor. So if you already have all the Last Wish craftable weapons, or you're not really too bothered, then at least you can still farm high stats over in the featured dungeon this week. Now from here, we're going to move on to Dares of Eternity, and this week sees the return of the Lightkin armor set from Season of the Splicer. This is naturally paired, as always, with the Scatterhorn armor set from Forsaken, but with Splicer armor in rotation, we do see Splicer weapons being available as well. This includes the Chroma Rush, the Ignition Code, the Grid Skipper, the Farewell, the Sojourner's Tale, the Shattered Cipher, the Main Ingredient, the Long Shadow, the Last Dance, the Toil and Trouble, the Wishbringer, and the Last Perdition. If you're still filling out those collections for your transmog, then this week is a great week to do it, alongside picking up some of the Splicer weapons, which are still some of the best weapons available in the game. But with that being said, if there's a particular season that you would love to see their weapons and armor added to Dares of Eternity, then be sure to sound off down in the comments below. Now next up, we're going to move on to the weekly rituals, and we have a returning Nightfall for week 7. This week sees the return of the Devil's Lair, the reprised strike from Destiny 1. Now the Devil's Lair is one of the easier Grandmaster Nightfalls in the rotation as well, but with that being said, the Nightfall exclusive weapon this week is the Buzzard Sidearm. And if you and your team can get a Platinum Medal on the Grandmaster Challenge, then the Buzzard Adept will drop as a guaranteed reward. Now this week also sees the return of the Grandmaster node, so if you missed completing any of the previous Nightfalls up until now since Grandmasters launched in week 4, then this week will give you the opportunity to run them all at least once. Now it's important to remember that regardless of the Nightfall that you choose to run, the Buzzard will still always be the Nightfall exclusive reward, but at least with the node being available, we can still earn or gild our Conqueror Seals. Now as for the Crucible, this week sees the return of Clash and Momentum Control as featured Crucible Rotators. Clash is great if you're a fan of Team Deathmatch, and Momentum Control is fantastic if you love those quick time to kills. Each offer their own unique challenges and variations on the Crucible experience. So whether you're looking to have a little bit of fun or complete some of the seasonal challenges that are linked to these game modes, then make sure to jump into those upon this week's weekly reset. Now from here we're going to move on to the Lost Sector calendar for week 7. This week kicks off over in the Labyrinth and is offering exotic boots. As for Wednesday, you can head over to the Exodus Garden 2A for those exotic gauntlets. On Thursday, we return to the Moon and the K1 Revelation for those exotic chess pieces. And alongside Trials of Osiris on Friday, you can head over to the K1 Crew Quarters for a shot at exotic helmets. On Saturday, you can head over to K1 Logistics for a second chance at a pair of exotic boots, with Sunday being found over in K1 Communion offering another pair of exotic gauntlets. And to round out the week, you can head back to Sepultura in Savathun's Throne World for another chance at exotic chess pieces. So as we always mention, if you're still working through some of the new exotics from Season of the Deep, or the ones from Lightfall, then be sure to plan your week accordingly. And if you want to check out this calendar for yourself, make sure to do so over in todayindestiny.com, and I'll leave the link to that down in the video description below. Now to round us out for the week, we're going to go over the seasonal challenges for week 7, and there are just 6 seasonal challenges available this week. This week kicks off with Frontline Salvager 7, so here you need to complete salvage or deep dive activities whilst wearing Season of the Deep armor, additionally defeating bosses and mini-bosses anywhere in the system. That's alongside Salvage Legend, and here you need to complete the salvage activity on Legend difficulty. That's followed by Salvaged Munitions, so here you need to defeat targets with seasonal weapons, and defeating guardians or combatants defeated in salvage or deep dive will grant additional progress. Next up we have Fleeting Glory, so here you need to complete Crucible matches in the competitive playlist and you'll earn bonus progress for wins. The penultimate challenge is called High Value Hunter, so for this you'll need to defeat powerful combatants in Gambit and you'll earn extra progress for defeating high value targets. And the final challenge for week 7 is called Grandmaster, and for this you'll need to complete a Grandmaster Nightfall. So there we have it guys, a good look at everything that you can expect for week 7 of Season of the Deep. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to check out one of the 2 videos you see here in these cards for more Destiny 2 content. And if you want to keep up to date with everything to do with Destiny 2, then be sure to hit subscribe as well. I'm going to put to the game as always guys, and I will catch you all again very soon.